What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another week of us trying to guess the chaos that's going to ensue Sunday and Monday. Last week, I went 6-10. You went 8-8, which wasn't, super horrible. But both of our totals for the first 2 weeks of the football are 15-16, and I'm just hoping that I have an inch of success this week and some things go a little bit more right for us. But before we get started, we are just a couple people away from hitting 1,500 subscribers on the channel. So if you have not done so, we would really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button and came in here and hung out with us. We're here all week.
Yeah, all winter we will be here more than most people probably like, but then that ends up being a good thing because we made a lot of good friendships in year one, and there's so many really great people that hang out with us during the games. And if it wasn't for them, I don't know that I would have the desire to do it as often. So for everybody that came in here and adopted Alex and I, we definitely appreciate and love you all because you all make Sundays, Mondays, whatever day we're in here, it makes it a blast. It's always fun to do so.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love all you guys that hang out with me and give me stress in the chat and, also support me in the chat during tough times. You guys, a lot of you guys were here for that divisional round Chiefs and Bills game that I was very much struggling to get through, and I'm forever grateful for that one. But on the bright side, both of us started 1-0 for the week with our picks for Thursday night football. So let's go ahead and jump in and recap that a little bit.
It really felt like the first game I've watched this year that really went according to plan. Pittsburgh put up a decent fight. Cleveland had the better team and pulled away in the end. I can't really think of anything else to describe that game other than Pittsburgh probably can't score more than 20 points a game all season long. So if you can surpass 3 touchdowns, you can beat Pittsburgh.
I got a couple little interesting tidbits. First, if you didn't watch the game and you haven't seen the play, the incredible George Pickens one-handed grab that looks just like the one OBJ did back in the day. I clipped that. It's on the channel under our shorts tab. But what an outstanding young wideout. I think that he'll be good, and everyone's calling for other young wide receivers that haven't been fed the ball as much, calling them busts because he made this catch. But it was a great catch by a young receiver, and he's probably going to continue to impress. My second thing, which I've been laughing about this since yesterday, is they asked Chase Claypool, which most of you guys know I really don't care for that guy, but I don't care for most Pittsburgh Steelers in general, but they asked him and they were like, yeah, they're the Browns, but we would have won that game too if we had Nick Chubb. Like, first of all, Nick Chubb doesn't win every game. And second of all, they have a just as talented young back in Najee Harris. And so, the disrespect he just threw out there to him by saying that just makes him look even that much worse of a team player. He's costed them games by his antics in the past.
Chase Claypool is one of the last remaining. I don't really get that same vibe by Deontay Johnson so much, but Chase Claypool is like the last remaining problematic guy. I felt like Juju was the same way. I really hope he is really cleaned up his act in Kansas City. I don't
think he was problematic. I think it's the whole TikTok thing that just, he got his payback in Cincinnati for that, and I feel like that really checked him down to earth. And he hasn't been that same guy since then.
Wow, it is. But Claypool is one that I really don't care for either. I don't ever expect to do that well.
He had an outstanding rookie season, but other than that, he's done absolutely nothing.
But after a few of these guys disappear, this Pittsburgh team starts to become a team that I actually like a lot of the players on if a few of these guys go away.
Man, I mentioned Najee Harris. He's one of my favorite guys in the league right now, and I just hate that he plays for Pittsburgh. And Pat Freiermuth, the tight end they took last year, love that guy. TJ Watt is incredible. I mean, he's out right now, and that's going to hurt Pittsburgh a lot. You think adding TJ Watt would have made that game on Thursday different?
Yes, I really do. TJ
Because, I
Watt.
mean, Brissett looked like a stud. The run game was fantastic, but I feel like Brissett is like gets shaken up and starts, under pressure, starts panic throwing and things like that. And I think TJ Watt could have really just the way he played in Cincinnati week 1. Not that he didn't always play great, but that was an over the top outstanding level of, play for a player in his position.
Just keep that in mind. When there's a guy like TJ Watt that got, 21 sacks or 21 and a half sacks last year on the other side of the football, and he's going to get to you twice, that guy's in the back of your mind. That disrupts your rhythm automatically because he's there. When he's not there, Pittsburgh's defensive line didn't look bad, but they just didn't have that little extra that they needed to change the game.
Like, obviously, we knew going into that game that both offenses had been a little sus. Like, obviously, Nick Chubb, Najee Harris, even Kareem Hunt behind Nick Chubb, like, that is the one, like, certain for these two teams. The run game is fairly certain as long as you can complete some passes. But the passing game is what's been sus. Amari Cooper had a really, really nice game. David Njoku went off the deep end. He skyrocketed in that game. So, like, they just outplayed them on offense, and that's basically the only thing you have to do to beat Pittsburgh is just have a better offense. Like, I don't even think it comes down to the better defense. Like, it comes down to if you can move the football, you can beat Pittsburgh.
Agreed. All right.
But let's put that one down and behind us because we're here to make good or bad decisions for the rest of the week. I got a coin if I get torn at any point, and that's what I'm going to go with once we start talking about these. The first one I got on my slate is the one that makes me nervous. It shouldn't. We've got the Kansas City Chiefs heading to Indianapolis to take on the 0-2 Colts. Look, realistically, they do not have Shaq Leonard for this game either. He's already been ruled out. Realistically, if things went the way everybody knows they should, this game should be like 50-3. Like, this should look like the Arizona game all over. But where in week 3, they did not give them they gave them only a 5.5 point spread, which makes me feel much more confident that the Chiefs will win this game. It wasn't one of those dumb 10, 12 digit point spreads, but I'm still going to pick the Chiefs. Like, I'm going to put that out there, but I feel like it is a trap game. The Chiefs are going to win, but I personally feel like this game is going to be way too close and for no reason other than stupidity.
Trap game is a great word, and I feel like it's going to be a trap game as far as Indianapolis is going to play better. They've got too good a personnel on that team to not play better.
We have to keep in mind that this is the Colts' home opener. They haven't played at home yet, so they might get a big crowd. They might get dudes in there with paper bags on their head. I don't know what it's going to be like, but I know a lot of Chiefs are going to be there, Chiefs fans.
Yeah, it's going to be a different environment. It's going to be a different game for Indy. But here's the thing, just all that aside, to know that they're going to be competitive for at least a good portion of this game. Also, you're putting Patrick Mahomes in one of the easiest stadiums that it is to play in and throw the ball. And I really got a feeling that Indy's defense is still a little suspect in the secondary, in my opinion. So I think it's going to be a good game through the air for Mahomes. I'm going to take the Chiefs as well, but I really just kind of got that eking suspicion that I wouldn't bet on this game.
I mean, I wouldn't bet on this game either because that is the number one rule of thumb is don't bet on your team. But if your team is favored, always bet against your team because you'll make money if they do lose. Yeah. I learned that the hard way when the Chiefs played the Bengals in the playoffs. I put up some money up on the Bengals and, got me a good chunk of change right there. Also, if you do sports bet responsibly because I work in a casino and I know don't let it get out of hand. But yeah, I mean, I don't have a lot to say about this game. I am nervous for the obvious fact that it's a trap game. Just like Rams fans should have been nervous playing against Atlanta. That was a trap game, and that they almost came back and won. Oh, yeah. In my opinion, same game, except for right now, Atlanta's playing better than Indianapolis through the first 2 weeks. But yeah, I'm glad we're on the same page there because I might have come through this computer and grabbed you if you had said that you think the Colts are going to win this game. But moving on to the next one, I feel like this is going to be this should be a blowout, but that's going to turn into another good game in my opinion. Is the Ravens versus the Patriots.
Yeah, it feels it's got that same vibe of a trap game. But I'm going to stick with my guns right now. It's my preseason pick. It's the way I looked at this whole season. I think New England's offense is more suspect than their defense. I think Baltimore has more firepower. I'm gonna take the Ravens again.
Look, for just to put it in a very plain, for anybody that might be in the chat that are trying to make their decision for their pick or whatever, think of it this way: both defenses are fairly good, but who would you trust more right now to win you you need a 2-minute drive to get in the end zone? Who would you trust more, Lamar Jackson or Mac Jones at this moment?
That's
And if
not
you
even a
say
question.
Lamar Jackson, or if you don't say Lamar Jackson, then you're wrong. Look, Mac Jones is struggling in year 2 for one reason, that they are playing. We're going to flip a coin. Who's going to call plays? We're going to flip a coin. What kind of offense we run this week? They haven't figured it out yet. By week 3, maybe they string together a couple good things to get their offense back on track. But if it comes down to who's got more firepower, you have to give me Lamar Jackson, this Baltimore offense who's been together forever, opposed to Mac Jones, a young QB that has new OCs, new guys telling him new things that he hasn't figured out all the way quite yet. I think, New England's defense will be competitive because, that they are a good defense. They might not be ranked as high as others, but they're there. And I think their defense might be ranked lower because of the offensive early struggles and they're spending more time on the field. But they did, come get that last drive against Pittsburgh last week that brought them in and sealed the win. Oh yeah, Nathan says it. J.K. Dobbins is set for his season debut. That guy will be a crucial, piece to add to this Baltimore offense that's already playing well. So I mean, I can't go any other direction and then taking the Ravens on this game.
Yeah, here we go, picking the same stuff again.
That means we're both going to do good or we're both going to do bad. This one, I'm pretty good on this one. Next game I have NFC South divisional game, Saints versus Panthers. First thoughts and go.
That's pretty much. I mean, I know that the Saints are down a few bodies. Obviously, I'm not going to jump on this Panther bandwagon at all right now. I still feel like New Orleans is the best team in that division, even though they lost to Tampa the other day. And I'm going to keep riding the Saints. I don't think Jameis Winston's fourth quarter performance was all his fault. I'm going to take the Saints to win this game.
I'm right there with you. The Panthers have done nothing but prove me wrong this year. I thought this young defense going into year 2 was just going to get better because they had a great defense last year. Christian McCaffrey back on the injury report, nothing new. But he seems to be okay. Like, he's going to play in this game. But I don't think, after losing to the Buccaneers, playing another divisional opponent, this will be their 3rd week in a row doing so. They're going to bounce back and, have a good game against Carolina. As long as Winston is okay. They've still got Ingram, who played fairly well against the Buccaneers. I don't know about Kamara. Too soon to tell. But either way, I'm really confident in taking the Saints this week. Unless something really dumb happens. Like, this could be a coin flip game if something dumb happens. Next game on the slate, I'm really curious to hear your thought process. I've already got my mind made up. Don't be surprised at the Panthers steal this game. See, that's what I'm saying. I think it's still possible for the Panthers to sneak away with this win, but I'm going to ride with the Saints until they just make me believe that they're bad. But yeah, I'm really curious to pick your brain a little bit on this. And the Texans go into Chicago and take on the Bears.
You know what? This is one of the games that I put quite a bit of thought into,
Me
and
too.
I really like that Chicago is playing better football, and I like that Houston has played pretty decent football. I chose this as a coin flip. I think Davis Mills and Justin Fields both have about the same amount of upside right now. I think the weapons are really similar on both sides of the ball. Um, Houston's defense has been very competitive. Lovie Smith, their head coach, was the defensive coordinator last year. So although that 60% of these guys will not be on this team next year, it's just kind of patchwork together until they can get these picks coming in. Chicago's defense is the exact same way. It's another patchwork rebuild year. Going to take the home team, going to take the Bears.
All right. Well, this is where we split off. Lovie Smith's coming back into Chicago. He knows how this team's ran. He knows a lot that's going on there. Both of these teams are a coin flip every week if they're going to be competitive or not. Davis Mills did struggle last week a little bit against Denver's defense, but keep in mind Denver's defense is supposed to be good. So that makes sense that they gave him a hard time. Chicago, they're looking to rebound. They did get a win against the Niners this year, but they're looking to rebound after a Sunday night embarrassment against the Packers, which we all knew was probably coming. Uh, you know, every team in the NFL has completed at least 26 passes this year. Chicago has only thrown 26 passes this year. David Montgomery's their offense. If they can keep him going, they can win this game. But I'm going to take the Texans for the upset. I don't know if you consider it an upset, but I feel like in terms of betting, it's an upset. To sneak in a road win here. We've been saying that the Texans were going to cause a little bit of problems this year. I think this one's going to be the first big shakeup where they come away with a win.
I feel like that's a good possibility. I'm playing numbers today on this pick. And that's why I stuck with the home team.
I mean, that's fair. Like, I respect no matter what anybody chooses on this game, but I just feel this one going to be a Texans get the dub.
All right.
The next one of the most, if not the most, in my opinion, probably is the most anticipated game of the week. The Bills go to Miami and take on the Dolphins. The Bills shaken up with injuries on the defense. The Dolphins riding higher than they've rode in a long time, cut with that comeback win against Baltimore. But the Bills just lost Micah Hyde for a minimum of 4 weeks. I think Nathan said earlier on our community post that he's done for the year. So I'm not sure. I didn't hear. I just saw the IR post, but they are already missing a couple guys in their secondary still. So there's a lot of young guys filling that spot. If Tua can repeat what he did last week, what do you think?
I still think Buffalo runs away with this game. Von Miller, the front part of Buffalo's defense is way too good. Tua's not going to be able to have any time to throw the ball, and he's definitely not going to have time to float him down there 60 yards.
He can't do that anyway.
Have the receiver wait for it to catch it. Buffalo's secondary is really good. First string and second string's probably better. It's going to be an embarrassment for Miami. Get off your high horse. You're getting ready to get beat.
Look, I want nothing more than just be like, Buffalo's going to take this game. But it is a divisional game. It is in Miami. When Miami goes to Buffalo, I'm going to say not a chance. That's just what I'm going to say. But since it is a road game for Buffalo, Buffalo's riding really, really high. The Dolphins are riding really, really high. I'm going to say this is going to be a messy, messy game. But Tua has one of the quicker releases out of all quarterbacks. He's the one who gets the ball out fast because, granted, he doesn't load up deep because he can't. But if he can hit Waddle and Hill on slants all day, he can get the ball out fast enough for that. I'm going to take the Dolphins for an upset here. And it is an upset even though it's a home game. And it's honestly like I want the Dolphins to lose every game this year, but I need Buffalo to get slowed down and put in check just a little bit. So I'm gonna take the Dolphins, but there's no win for me in this game. But with that and keeping all that said, I think I'm very excited to watch this football game.
Yeah, and the problem is that I can't watch it because I'll be working for the most part.
I mean, I'll be working for the entire game, so and I'm going to be trying to watch the Chiefs game on top of it. I'm going to try to balance the two, but I have this a very anticipated watch. It's going to be fun. I don't feel good about picking either team because Josh Allen has kind of owned the Dolphins since I'm not going to say since he got good. I'm going to say since he got Stephon Diggs because his entire game changed with Stephon Diggs. So this is going to be who plays better, Waddle and Hill or Stephon Diggs, and that's who wins the game. I feel like it's going to be a lot harder for both teams to run the ball. Both teams have excellent defenses. Buffalo has just taken a couple blows this year. But I have a lot of faith in Josh Allen and his offense to still put up points despite however many his defense. I feel like whatever the over-under is, give me the over. And probably an extra 15 points over the over because I feel like this is going to be a nonstop just scoring because you can't stop Buffalo's offense. But if Buffalo's defense is even a smidgen sus, they're going to put up 40 points again. The Dolphins are.
Yeah. If you're basing that on last week's Miami game,
I'm not basing it on that because look, I don't want the Dolphins to have success. Do I want either of these teams to start 3-0? No, the happiest outcome is if this game ends in a tie.
We say that a lot.
This game is not going to end in a tie unless it's like 45-45. But Josh Allen's not going to lose in overtime in the regular season because he's still salty about losing in overtime in the playoffs. So if this game goes to overtime, Buffalo wins. But in regulation, I'm going to take the Dolphins, and I don't feel good about it.
Go ahead. Nice job.
And the next one, pretty interesting game in another divisional matchup, NFC North, Lions and Vikings. I'd like to hear what you have to say about this.
Oh, this one here was one that I was really, really considering the coin toss. I did go ahead and I can't even remember what I picked on CBS. I'll have to go check it later because I picked that early on, so I get it out of the way. I really, really like this Detroit Lions team, and I find it very difficult to bet against them. It's a really tough thing to do, especially when And at the end of the day, I got to say that Minnesota has the better team still. Minnesota's still a step above them right now, even though, Kirk Cousins hasn't started great. Goff's had a pretty good start to the season. I just feel like Minnesota kind of comes out of their funk this week. I feel like the Lions are playing better, but they're just not there yet. I'm going to take Minnesota at home.
I might have to go to the coin flip for this one.
I considered it, honestly.
But the Lions are riding high. They just got a win this week. And the Vikings got completely embarrassed on Monday Night Football. This is a short week for Minnesota. Oh, God. I think the offense for Detroit is enough to go toe-to-toe with Minnesota's offense.
Agreed.
The defense for the for the Lions played better last week than they did in week one. They played better against Philadelphia than the Vikings played against Philadelphia. So with that stat alone, I'm going to take Detroit because Detroit fared better against probably the best team in the NFC than Minnesota did. I think this game is going to be interesting. I can't tell you if it's going to be high scoring or low scoring. I think it's going to be a close win. I think the Vikings do bounce back, but I'm going to give the Lions the win. I think the Vikings look incredibly better. than they did last week because it was Monday Night Football, and that's Kirk Cousins' curse in life. So yeah, I'm gonna take the Lions. I'll let you take the Vikings, and so we got to have a little bit of diversity because one of us has got to get ahead.
Gotcha. I'm comfortable
I
with that.
mean, these games are giving me a headache just thinking about. Then now I'm really curious what you got to say about this one. The Bengals take on the Jets with Joe Flacco. 0-2. The Jets come riding higher than they have rode in a long time. This is the earliest in the season they've gotten a win in like, I don't know, like 10 years or something. So let's hear it.
I got to take Cincinnati, even on the road. I still feel like there's issues. I still feel like they're knocking off the fog, but their defense has played well. And unless Mike White miraculously starts this game for the Jets and just completely unloads, I don't think Joe Flacco is, especially since the Bengals know him so well, is going to have the same impact as a guy that they've never seen. I really don't believe the Bengals are an 0-2 team. They probably should have won week 1 if they just would have coached correctly. They should have won week 2 as well. They fought hard on the road, and I'm taking them. I can't not. I do like this Jets team for the future, for sure.
I love this Jets team for the future,
cannot
man.
wait to see them once they get to full strength this year. I think they're going to be formidable. But the Bengals have to win, so they're going to.
I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place because I've given the Bengals 2 of my picks this year, and they let me down both times. And you know what? The Steelers let me down last week, and I got mad about it, so I picked against them this week. And so just for that, I'm going to pick against the Bengals for the first time this week. And I hope this reverse psychology, whatever, sets them on the right path, me picking against them, and they win. If that's the case, I'm okay with that. But I'm going to take the Jets because Joe Flacco, Mike White, Zach Wilson, any other random guy you can throw in there. This team as a whole, outside of Joe Flacco, is playing really, really well. The Bengals should be 2-0 right now. They've done nothing but disappoint in terms of the offensive line, which was their only, in my opinion, their only thing they needed to fix from last year. And so I think these guys are going to get it back together. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. If Cleveland and the Jets can put up 61 points total, I think that Cincinnati and the Jets can put up 61 points. So I think it's going to be a high-scoring affair. And just for the fact that they've let me down twice is the only reason I'm picking against them this week and just going off on this path and taking the Jets. Because I'm not getting burned 3 weeks in a row by picking somebody who's lost 2 in a row, like the Colts. I'm not picking the Colts either. But I'm gonna take the Jets. I love this Jets team. I love this Bengals team. This is the best Bengals roster I've ever seen. I want the Bengals to win this game, but I'm just gonna take this one. And if I lose this week for picking them, that means the Bengals won, so I don't really lose because I want them to get back on track.
It's called hedging your bet.
Yeah, that's why I said you don't sports bet for your favorite team, you sports bet against them. So if you lose, you still win. But that was tough. This one's just as tough. Seriously, every game this week has given me a headache thinking about. The Raiders go to Nashville to take on Tennessee, and Nathan, I'm sorry for whatever I say that might hurt your feelings. I don't know how to feel about this game just yet.
Another one of my games that I really I look at and I'm like, I don't know what to say, do, or think. And Nathan, back again, apologies, because last year at the end of the season, I was riding pretty high on the Derek Carr train. Right now, it's not so much. But I don't like Ryan Tannehill either.
But that's a big question. Are we getting Ryan Tannehill for another week, or are we getting a Malik Willis starter until he's bad and then getting Ryan Tannehill? Or are we getting Ryan Tannehill until he plays bad and getting Malik Willis again? Like, well, where is that? Well, I don't know what direction that's going to go.
I saw Malik Willis play. He's not ready yet to be out there on a week-to-week basis, I don't think. So I got to say, but the just determining factor in this whole game has nothing to do with the roster of the Tennessee Titans. It's that coach. That coach is that good. Las Vegas has shown chinks in the armor, not being able to close games, and then they go on the road. You want to talk about two teams that are in a must-win game? This could be their season, because I think going 0-3, I think that it's like 30% if you're 0-2 make the playoffs. 0-3, I think that drops down to like 10. I think that's
Well,
and that's
here we'll just throw this statistic out. Every single team that started 0-2 last year missed the playoffs.
Yeah, and it's like I looked it up. It was like 30% over the history, of the playoffs if you started 0-2. I mean, that's very low numbers. Derek Carr's playing better than Ryan Tannehill, so.
I have to say that the Raiders have had two good, like decent opponents in the Chargers and the Cardinals, which I think the Cardinals are sus and everything, but they've put up a good fight against those two teams. The Chargers are a tough team to beat, and they were coming back on them, and the Cardinals, they just didn't close the game. The Titans got completely blown out against the Bills, like 41-7, and the Giants, I still don't know if they're good or not yet, so that win I can't tell either. So I can't tell if either of these teams are bad or if either of these teams are good.
I think they're both good teams.
I think they're both supposed to be good teams.
I'm going to go against what I thought I was going to do. I'm going to take the Raiders on the road.
I'm going to the coin flip for this game. 100%. And whatever it lands on is what I'm going to take. I think the Raiders should win this game, but at the same time, if it comes down to coaching, I have to take Tennessee. Tennessee's defense is a little beaten up, whatever you want to call it. So I feel like Derek Carr and this offense should be able to exploit that. Josh Jacobs is not flying to Tennessee with the team, so he's probably not going to be. We're going to see, I hope, and I don't know how Nathan feels about this guy, but I hope we get to see some Zamir White, the rookie they drafted. I feel like that guy is going to be good. He might end up taking Josh Jacobs' job if they, commit to giving him time and letting him do what he can. If it comes down to a run game, I have to give it to Tennessee. If it comes to a battle in the air, Treylon Burks isn't quite A.J. Brown level yet. I think he's got a possibility. Robert Woods is still solid. I like the receiving core for Vegas more. So, the pass game goes to the Raiders. The run game goes to the Titans. Coaching goes to the Titans. Defense, I would say, goes to the Raiders. I don't know. We're going to a coin flip. We got heads for the home team and tails for the Raiders.
If I told you before you flip that coin, I'm going to try to actually persuade you for a second. If I told you that the Tennessee Titans have given up the 30th most points in the league this year, would that make a difference in your opinion to flip that?
Where are the Raiders ranked?
25th.
Okay, so that does not make a difference. And how many points has the Raiders? And how many points has the Titans given up?
I don't know. I'm looking at averages right there.
And we're talking about Buffalo, the highest scoring team in the league.
Yeah. I mean, in the Raiders.
I'm giving heads to the home team, tails to the Raiders.
I tried, Nathan. I tried, bro.
All right. Flipping it over. What is it?
It's a head.
I'm going with the Titans. I'm sorry, Nathan. The coin flip.
It's okay. We're disagreeing today, which I kind of like.
That's not even a disagreement. That was I couldn't form my own opinion.
No, I mean our picks are disagreeing, not us. But
I hope the Raiders win because I hate the Titans, but at the same time, I'm okay if the Titans win because I want the Colts to finish fourth in that division. I'm winning no matter who wins, I guess. I don't know.
You don't feel like you're winning?
I don't feel like I'm winning at all. Like, both teams need a win here. If it ends in a tie, that's fine, I guess. I don't know. We gotta move on. That's giving me a headache. This one, not so much of a headache, but I'm at a conflict. The Eagles and the Washington Commanders. This should
Where
be
are
a
we playing at?
no-brainer in my mind, but there's things in there that's talking me out of taking where I want to go with this.
Where's the game? Sorry.
I believe it's in Washington. It is in Washington, yeah.
Another game, and I say it's a coin flip because the NFC East is always
They play hard. They play hard against each other.
they get up for it.
This is Carson Wentz home, like playing against the Eagles on his home court. We just gotta hope that this field doesn't kill Jalen Hurts because it's the quarterback killing field.
Oh, you shouldn't even mention that.
I mean, one of my favorite quarterbacks of all time, and your current quarterback, Jalen Hurts. The last time he went there, he was walking out the tunnel, and the things fell, and a bunch of fans fell on him. It's like I need to just demo that stadium, get a new one, because it's just got too much negative history on quarterbacks. I feel bad for Carson Wentz because he's already got glass bones.
I mean, I'm just
Let me
gonna
see the
go.
point spread on this. I'm curious.
What I got in front of me says point spread is the Eagles are almost a touchdown favorite on the road.
6.5. It was gonna make my decision a lot easier if it was higher than that.
Yeah, because if it was higher than that,
If it was higher than that, I would hands down take Washington.
I'm with you. I can't pick because this is I'm going to stick to my guns, even though Carson Wentz is putting up really good numbers. I'm going to take Philadelphia with the run game. The run game wins the NFC East. It will all year. I'm taking the Eagles. I'm over it.
The Eagles are the best team in the NFC right now. No one is going to argue with me, and if you want to, I'll fight about it all day. But it is true. It is 100% true. The Eagles are going to the Super Bowl, but I'm gonna take the upset, the home team, and I hate Carson Wentz, but I love the Washington Commanders as a whole. I'm gonna take them to play really hard at home against a divisional opponent and sneak away with like a 2 or 3 point win. Nothing crazy. They're not gonna blow them out, but they're gonna shut down the run game, and they're gonna shut down AJ Brown and make him feed everybody else these short passes, and they're gonna make it happen at home. They're gonna bounce back from last week and get a surprising win. Eagles stop Gibson. Eagles win. Eagles should win no matter what. No matter what I say, Eagles should win. But I'm gonna take Washington for the upset because all I believe in is every week, every game's gonna be an upset. Because that's what the NFL's taught me this year. The next game, I feel the same way. Jags go into LA to face the Chargers and their 5 fans. Herbert's listed as questionable, but I think he's going to be playing. He's been practicing with pads on.
Well, yeah, this is where I'm just flying off the rails this week. I'm going to take – I've already thought this one through in my mind. I'm going to take and go against what I believe wholeheartedly, and I'm going to take Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars to go in to LA and get the win. I don't think that's a home field advantage for the Chargers. I think that stadium is a curse. I'm going to take the Jags to keep improving.
I think, and I agree with you, it's kind of going against what I believe. I think the Chargers, realistically, even with Chase Daniels coming in, would be able to come in and get this win. I feel very, if you remember, the Cowboys versus Chargers game last year that the refs won that game with the most crazy bad calls ever. I think the Jags will play well enough, not well enough to win, but well enough, and the refs are going to get involved in this game, and the Jags are going to come away with a win.
I thought for sure this would be the one we disagreed on today, and I can't believe.
Yeah, I thought you would take the Chargers hands down, not thinking about it at all. What's up, Ben?
You know what? And I'm going to tell you that in my decision-making process, Justin Herbert's game time decision is a big part of that, because even if he plays, that means he's not 100%. And I just don't think you want to go against probably.
I think this D-line for Jacksonville is going to be able to slip through and get at Justin Herbert, at least pressure him, if not sack him.
I mean, right now, Jacksonville is really winning games more with defense than they are with offense. Doug Peterson is a stabilizing force as a coach. He's a leader. He's running that team. They're fifth in overall defense and first in interceptions. If you got a quarterback that's ailing, you got the number one intercepting team in the league coming into your home field, which is not a home field. I just like the way the vibe is trending.
I think Doug Peterson's trying to come for Coach of the Year. Like, honestly, if they win this division like they're trending to right now, he might just take that one. I have to take the Jags on this one because as soon as I read this week's slate, my first thought was the biggest upset of the week is the Jags are going to beat the Chargers. Before I had time thinking about any other game, I was like literally the brain cell thinking about it. I just have to do it. I feel like it's right. Everything in my body is like, I don't like rooting against the Chargers because they pull stuff out of their butt sometimes and make things happen I didn't think could happen. It's the only thing that makes sense to me. I'm glad we agreed on that one because I really didn't feel like arguing with you why I thought the Jags were going to win because I can't really explain everything I'm thinking. So I'm definitely okay with us agreeing on that one. Now we get to America's game of the week. The Packers head to Tampa Bay to play the Bucs. For the first time in NFL history, 2 3-time MVP quarterbacks are playing against each other.
And I get the joy of watching that game and calling it in here. And I know what I want to happen. I really know what I want to happen.
I know what you want to happen, and I know it's gonna happen, and I'm sure we're gonna disagree on this game.
And golly, let me go ahead and look at some other numbers while we're sitting here thinking about it. Look at this. I can't.
Tampa has they're missing 2 or 3 wide receivers this week. They're missing Akeem Hicks on defense. He's already been ruled out. I think there's a couple. They've got like 8 or 9 guys on the questionable/out list. The Green Bay's only got like 2 or 3. They're all wide receivers. But
here's the thing. This was where I was at earlier in the week. That Tampa Bay's defense, coupled with Leonard Fournette's playing really well lately, was gonna lead into a Tampa win. However, the better running back right now, in my opinion, is Aaron Jones. I don't like this pick at all, but I'm going to go ahead and take Aaron Rodgers and Tampa on the road, or Green Bay on the road this week, even though they play horrible in the state of Florida. And Tampa Bay's got the number 1 defense in the NFL right now. I still think if Aaron Rodgers lets me down this week, I'm going to have a hard time picking for him the rest of the season. This is going to be a letdown. This is where that guy's got to man up and show that he wants to win another Super Bowl, show that he deserves that elite status that he feels like he's on. He's an arrogant ass. I don't like him. He better go out here and play today. He better go kick Tom Brady's butt. If he doesn't kick Tom Brady's butt, I don't want to hear another word out of him.
Can we just talk about the fact that Brady is starting to look his age, though?
I said that in New England 5 years ago.
I mean, yeah, but 5 years ago, Tom Brady was 5 years younger. Like, you go back and watch that Saints game.
Look, this is the two teams in the NFL that I love to root against most of the time because I don't like Aaron Rodgers. I don't like that everybody, the Green Bay fan base, is just so smitten with him. It makes me sick to my stomach.
How do you think I feel about anybody that talks about Tom Brady?
And I have at the end of the day, I still have at least some respect for Brady. I don't know.
No, dude, my respect flew out the window 15 years ago for Brady. At least Aaron Rodgers hasn't getting caught cheating, like at least he doesn't, cry about some of the things. Let me fix my camera real quick. That Brady cries about. At least Aaron Rodgers doesn't go on the sideline and break Microsoft Surface Pros every time he plays against the Saints because he's a crybaby. No. If it comes down to who's the worst, look, both of them hate their families. That's fine. I don't care. Not everybody likes their family. Whatever. The only thing that Rodgers has that makes me more mad than Tom Brady is his inability to take a pay cut to put guys around him. Other than that, I think that all of the negative points more towards Brady than Rodgers. Rodgers makes me laugh every week. Every time Brady speaks, I want to vomit.
I got it.
Brady wasn't man enough to tell Woodson it was a fumble. That's what I'm saying. Brady is not a man. Aaron Rodgers will say whatever. I like that better. I'm going to go with Green Bay on this. I'm agreeing with you. I don't like talking about Aaron Rodgers in here because the last time we sat in here and talked about Aaron Rodgers, you turned the stream off halfway through while I was in the middle of saying something, and you disappeared. And I went back, and I screen clipped that, and I have it saved in my phone the next time you try to tell somebody it didn't happen.
Well, I would never tell them it didn't happen.
But I was sitting here talking about Aaron Rodgers, and he got all worked up and shut the stream down, left, and went AWOL for 4 days. That actually happened.
Hey, that's fun, man. That's emotion.
Anyway, I think the better of two quarterbacks will win this game. And like you said, if they're wrong, we're wrong. At the end of the day, Rodgers has always been a better quarterback than Brady. He might not be a better person. That's too hard to tell because I hate Brady that much. But, in terms of football, he is more talented, and I think he should win. Their defense is playing well. Both defenses are playing well, but the difference is Green Bay doesn't have any guys on defense on the injury report, and the Bucs have a couple. Neither of them have any of their wide receivers. It's going to come down to the run game. I got to go with Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, that two-punch combo. That's enough for me to say they're going to win.
Dude, I'm going to have such a blast in calling that game, though. I'm going to be. I'm
glad you're doing it, not me, because you hate Rodgers, but I hate Brady. And anytime I can avoid having to call a game Brady's in is a good day.
The only thing I really hate about Aaron Rodgers is that he doesn't have the hardware to back up his arrogance. He's only got one ring. That's all. That's it. If he had what Brady has,
a lot of quarterbacks over the last 20 years don't have very many rings because Brady has them all. No one's been able to get a ring because he somehow, pockets the refs and, cheats and does what he's got to do to get all those rings.
I admire some of that, though.
I don't admire cheating. I don't admire swaying the refs. I don't admire, half the things he does. He is the most accomplished quarterback in the league but he was alongside the most accomplished head coach in the league. Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes are coming to break all them. They're coming. It's inevitable.
I definitely look forward to Tampa losing this game. They're only.
Oh yeah, I can't. I'm calling Rob the second that game ends.
Man, Nathan, I'm glad that game. I have to take my blood pressure pill that morning. I'm going to keep one on standby in case I go to stroke out during the middle of that game, just in case. But it is going to be fun to call because I'm going to have emotion.
I think it's going
in
to be
this
a good game either way. You know, two of the considerable
it'll be
all-time greats duking it out with decent defenses and good run games with no wide receivers. This really proves who's the better quarterback in this matchup. If you can take your nobody practice squad receivers and win a game.
Sup, James? Iron Antler in the house. Thank you for stopping by. I love this game. I really do. I
love it. I do.
You know, and that's the bad part. The bad part is that I don't like Aaron Rodgers because he never gets what he's after. And if he would have made it to one or two more Super Bowls, I probably wouldn't grieve him as much. It's almost like I want to like him more than I do.
I can't hate him because of he is probably one of the top 3 most talented quarterbacks to ever play the game.
I'm
we
sorry.
We all agree we hate Deshaun Watson. Yeah,
I love Deshaun Watson. I can't help it.
I mean, in terms of football, I love Deshaun Watson, but he's looked bad since he finally started doing anything again. But in terms of everything else, yeah, as a person, I hate Deshaun Watson. Because whether he did it or not, he's still in this situation, and it's going to be talked about the rest of his life. But yes, it's going to be – there's a reason that this is game of the week, and because it's going to be the real test on who's the better quarterback, in my opinion.
You know, honestly, I wish when we play games and we have the volume off, and I wish the closed captioning was a little faster or a little better because it would be a lot nicer to talk about those with closed captioning on. I think I might put an earbud in one ear this week just to kind of get a little bit of sound. I want to try that once. I haven't tried that yet.
Oh, I used to do that. Now I turn the TV on loud enough that I can hear it. But,
what's next?
Let's move on to the next game because my brain is hurting. My brain is hurting through the first 10 games we've done so bad.
It's getting easier.
NFC West showdown. The Rams go into Arizona to take on the Cardinals.
Boy, I really want to say
this one's a coin flip game to me.
I really want to say that early on
before you say that, if we go back to last year, they both won one game, but they were both their away games that they won. So let's keep that part in mind.
Yeah. Let's just go down. You know, Kyler Murray versus Matthew Stafford, okay? Early in the season, Kyler Murray's better. Matthew Stafford got a Super Bowl. But I still think as an overall quarterback ranking, I'm going to rank them two really similarly. If I was to rank them, you know, top to bottom in the NFL, I would have them pretty close together. You know, the running game is non-existent on both sides of the ball. We can agree. The better receiver in this game that gets open all the time and does well is Cooper Kupp. I feel like the Rams defense losing Von Miller is a big loss. I feel like, you know, that there's some fight in the Cardinals. Lord have mercy. How am I going to do this? I am going to go ahead and flip the coin. Heads is going to be the Cards. Tails is going to be the Rams. Give me Arizona.
So I'm looking up the matchup rankings. The offense and the Cardinals offense is rated around the same as where the Rams defense is rated. And the Rams offense is rated a little bit better than the Cardinals defense. The rankings, the passing yards, the Cardinals are averaging 241, and the Rams are only rating a little higher at 256. Rushing yards, the Cardinals are 11th at 123, and the Rams are at 58.5, ranking 31st. And then points, the Cardinals are 10th at 25 points per game, and the Rams are rated 14th at 20.5 points per game. I want to say the Cardinals so bad. I'm going to take the Rams on this game. Even though Matt Stafford has like 5 more interceptions than Kyler Murray. I'm going to take this 4 more interceptions than Kyler Murray. I'm going to take the Rams by a field goal on the road.
I like it. I wish I could. I wish I had the gumption to pick that, but I flipped the coin today. What's up, Z?
What's up, Z Seeds? Next game on our slate, the Falcons and Seahawks, the Battle of the Birds in Seattle.
Battle of the Birds in Seattle. Battle of the Birds in Seattle. Wow.
The point spread is Seattle -1.
I've got to say, inevitably, this is another one of those that I considered flipping the coin on. I feel like they're pretty equal on quarterbacks. But, man, and I got to just say that I'm loving the skill position players for the Falcons right now. Cordell Patterson, Drake London, and Kyle Pitts. Rashad Penny, Tyler
if Kyle
Lockett.
Pitts even gets any targets, let's just keep that out there.
I think the Falcons are going to be this team this year that just is going to play everybody tough. I don't feel like the Seahawks are in a good spot yet. I love their coach. I love Carroll. I'm going to take the Falcons on the road. Not even going to question it.
I'm taking the Falcons also. They're going to get their first win of the year, get that under their belt, and I feel like they might be a bigger, point spread than you think on this one. With the Seattle lost Jamal Adams for the year. That's a big hole that they might be able to exploit with tough guys that can break tackles and can make good run after the catch. I just feel like this is kind of a dull game that might end up being an explosive offense game. Seattle or Atlanta's defense really isn't that bad. Seattle's defense has a hole in it now, but still not that bad. They contained Russell Wilson. They kept him in check. Atlanta put up a good number of points on the Rams and almost came back from a 28-3 to fish it. Seattle looks bad against the 49ers. So I'm going to take the Falcons here. I feel like this is an easy choice for me. I know you said it's a coin flip, but I feel like I was very confident in Atlanta before we even got here.
You know what I like about Atlanta? I mean, it's probably not a stat that you even think about. The stat that I like about Atlanta is that they control the football, time of possession. They're in the top 12 in time of possession, and I really feel like that's a big thing. Seattle's 31st in time of possession. They have more 3-and-outs than anybody. That's the main thing that kind of swayed me over. I love Atlanta's run game. I really do. I think Mariota can run the ball, and I love Cordell Patterson. You know how much I like him.
Dude, I've always had a little soft spot for him right there. Yeah, I think Atlanta's got a safe game in this, even though they're favorited to lose by 1. Just because they're playing in Seattle. Seattle is the only reason that they even got 1 point, in my opinion.
I like it. I like agreeing on that one.
Oh yeah, me too. Because we already knew Seattle was going to be rough this year. They snuck that win against Denver. I didn't think Atlanta was going to be as rough as Seattle, but I knew they were going to be pretty rough too. But on to Sunday Night Football. Handsome man Jimmy G returns to face a former foe and Russell Wilson at Mile High with the Denver Broncos.
With Jimmy Garoppolo, San Francisco is hands down probably the second best team in the NFC.
I think this is hilarious that they're playing in Denver, but San Francisco's favored at 1.5. That's hilarious.
I'm taking the Niners. I love Jimmy G. I think he's probably the most underrated, and I love the way he's handled his personal situation. He got his surgery, got his shoulder fixed. He come back. He didn't say a word. He never cried.
George Kittle's back this game too.
It's just that type of game. If Seattle can beat Denver, then San Francisco should walk all over them. Taking the Niners.
Oh yeah, I've got no question, like no doubt in my mind that I'm taking the Niners in this. No offense to Trey Lance because he's young and upcoming. I don't think his career is over yet. I think he's still gonna have time to shine once he gets healthy. But the San Francisco 49ers got so much better once Jimmy G had the reins again. If he's gone next year, which he should be, unless they give up on Trey Lance and convince him to stay. Jimmy G's going to get paid somewhere. He's going to get paid somewhere, and that's just the truth. People don't like him. He does make dumb decisions every now and then, but at the end of the day, he wins games. He's taken the Niners to the Super Bowl. He took the Niners to the playoffs last year.
NFC Championship.
Yeah, the NFC Championship. This guy is a winner. He's going to win on Sunday Night Football. They're going to make everybody in the world regret saying Russell Wilson was going to take the Broncos to the Super Bowl while the Broncos finished fourth in the division. I don't think there's anything that's going to, like, the home team advantage, yes, but like last week they played at home against the Texans. The crowd was, one, booing Russell Wilson, and two, there's like a stat right now, like an over-under thing on how many times the Denver Broncos will get a delay of game penalty. So the crowd was counting down the play clock because they were tired of them getting so many. This Denver's a mess. Their fans are mad at them. I don't think anything's going right for them. If they win this game, maybe the crowd won't hate them so much, but the Niners have got this game.
No question.
And our final game of the week, that's what I feel about it. The Cowboys head to New Jersey to take on the New York Giants on Monday Night Football.
I don't have any
the
problem.
Giants because I hate the Cowboys. I don't hate the Giants. I just thought they were supposed to be bad, and they're being good. Cooper Rush is going to get shut down for his first loss as a starter. I don't know. It's a -1 point spread for the Giants, so they expect it to be a close game. It's an NFC East game. Normally, when we have these two matchups, we watch the Cowboys blow out the Giants. So, realistically, if the Giants win this game, I will not be surprised because of the last 5 years of history. But I can't bet against the Giants right now.
I wholeheartedly agree with that. The Giants are playing well. Saquon Barkley is he's got a 6.1 yard average right now per carry. The receiving game hasn't been that great for the Giants right now. Richie James Jr. is their leading receiver right now. I'm not even sure who that is.
No idea.
Daniel Jones is not throwing the ball a lot, but he's throwing it efficiently. And,
what's up, Johnny?
Dallas's run game is still lacking. It's not where it should be, and they have to have the run game to beat the Giants. I'm going to take the G-men, happily take them. I feel like I'm not going to say an easy win, but it should be one that they win.
I just feel like it's going to be an ugly game. It's one of those ugly games. I mean, I'm fine with going to the coin flip on this, but I'm going to take – because I still think the Cowboys can win this game. And, like Nathan says right here, Jerry Jones is all in on Cooper Rush. He welcomes the quarterback controversy for whenever Dak gets back. And, if Cooper Rush wins every game while he's out, it does, start bringing up some questions and that people are going to want answers for. But I don't think Cooper Rush is bad. He looked really good against the Bengals. I mean, really good for a guy that's not got a super lot of experience. He looked good last year when he played. I don't even know. Like, this is it comes down to who has the ball last, probably. But Brian Daboll has, showed out with this new squad and at least turned a lot of heads to where people thought the Giants would be. The Giants were my pick for the number 1 draft pick this year, and they're already 2-0. So, it's gonna be fun. I can't wait to hang out with everybody on Monday, and probably I don't even know. I hate doing NFC East primetime games. I absolutely hate it.
I'm glad the way the schedule worked this week. I'll take what I got.
Yep. I mean, I'm not so mad about the 49ers Broncos game, but the Cowboys, every Monday night game, man, I feel like it's either a bad matchup or it's the NFC East. And you know what? I don't mind watching the Eagles, and I don't mind watching the Commanders, but I don't really want to watch. And if the Giants keep playing well, I'm going to say I don't mind watching the Giants, but I'm so sick of doing Cowboys games.
Anybody that is in here now, just note that I'm going, as soon as I get home tomorrow from work, I'm going to start the stream and finish up watching the Bengals game before the 4:00 game. It might be a little bit of dead time in there. We're hanging out, but I figure I might as well turn it on since I'm going to be here. And anybody that wants to hang out is more than welcome to come in here. I don't know what time that'll be. Probably in the fourth quarter sometime. And then we'll have a little bit more of a pregame. We'll recap a little bit before we start the 4:25 game. But I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. So it ought to be fun.
Also, how many people are in here right now that are normally in here? If you could type in the chat and let me know. I know Nathan's here and Johnny Smallpepper is in here, but I don't know how many people are in here that's usually in here right now. But I was just going to ask you, so we're looking to expand a little bit since it's the end of the broadcast. I feel like I can just sit and talk for a minute. I just want to know how you guys feel about like potentially, like some Madden content, or, if there's any other kind of, I love our live streams, and I'm going to continue doing as many live streams as we already do. But I'm wanting to expand. Oh, and Ben, but I'm far from normal. I wasn't sure if you were still in here, but I was just kind of looking to see like what kind of content that you guys would be interested in watching outside of the live stream. Because we haven't done a lot of video content in a long time, other than, I've been posting some shorts, some highlights, interviews, things like that. But other than that, or if there's anything you want to see this guy do. I know it's about that time for him to start putting out IU basketball content, and so anybody interested in college basketball.
I love the thought of you putting out some of the sport or some of the Madden football stuff like that. Dude, I think it's relevant.
I think, I try really hard to keep my emotions in check on these live streams and, keep my everything in check. But when I play Madden, the problem is I am very bad at playing against people who already play online. There's no beating people who play online unless you get lucky, and so I get a little wound up.
Yeah, I think that's a good change of pace. I think that it keeps you, in with your football knowledge. I think that's awesome. What's up, Lindsay?
What's up, Lindsay? Speaking of, Lindsay is currently, as she was after week 1, dropped a little week 2, but leading our CBS Pick'em right now. She is tied with one other person for the most through the first 2 weeks. But everybody who hasn't put in your picks yet, definitely make sure you do that. But, like, even outside of Madden, is there anything, like, football related you'd like to see from us? Also, we're going to be doing the One Chip Challenge very soon. I know the video is going to come out on his other channel, but I'm probably going to live stream it on Twitch as well while we do it.
If you want, we can drop that in here.
Or if you guys want to see us drop that video in here as well, I'm sure we could just post it on both channels.
Yeah, I mean, we own both channels, so guess what?
Yeah, I mean, if anybody's got anything that they want to see, because YouTube is about us giving you what you want, and so I picked the Jets tomorrow. He picked the Bengals. I unfortunately also picked the Jets.
It's okay, Lindsay. I'm
I wasn't
disappointed.
happy about it.
I'm disappointed with Cincinnati right now too. So Australian rules football would be cool, man. I just it's so hard.
I'd
I
like
mean
to
it.
see you both react to Aussie Rules Football, a video called Australians Foot. Is it on YouTube or where is it at? I'll pull it up right now, and then I won't watch it, but
Yeah, see, I think we could get into it. I just get confused on.
Lindsay says if IU does an evening game, you should do it.
I love their college football game, and by the way, they played against Cincinnati very well today, even though they lost. That was on my radar. Right now, I've been in here for the last hour, and I've got to go very soon. But I've been totally enamored with this Texas A&M and Arkansas game today.
YouTube, I think that's the name.
I would love to be able to understand. I don't know all the rules for reactionary videos on what we can do with those.
You know, I would definitely be down to do a reaction video to that because I just saw some of the thumbnails for that and it made me cringe a little bit. So I know a reaction video would be very fun. Gaming content and food content. Well, see, I plan on doing some gaming content in the future. Probably not on this channel, other than Madden, like sports related gaming content. But
Yeah,
food content, we talk about food every single week in here.
dude, I guess. Oh, I didn't tell you. And on another note, I have got a new recipe for a queso dip that I'm gonna try out on everybody here shortly, and I absolutely think it's gonna be awesome.
Don't worry, Shane. I'll help you understand it like you guys.
That's cool, man. I'm definitely down because this is the time of year we're getting into I'm getting into the point of time where I'm going to be on this TV a lot more with a lot more information. Summer's winding down and we're getting into the cooler weather, so that puts me inside a lot more. I have a lot less responsibilities in the winter, so it's going to be really awesome.
When the grass stops dying and we don't have to mow it anymore, we'll be stuck inside.
Yeah, that's my biggest thing on this week is getting that yard ready for winter over there too. But yeah, definitely, I love it. What's your thought about KJ Jefferson this year? I don't really have a thought yet. I haven't got to watch enough. But like I said earlier about Richardson, I think his arm strength is a little bit weak. I really think CJ Stroud is going to be the #1 pick in the draft if a quarterback is taken.
All I'm saying is, Dad, there's a lot of people in here that ask a lot of college football stuff, and so I feel like that should be your other direction. Like I want to do some other stuff too, but that's where you surpass me.
I think I'm going to have time. Maybe I will do a college game of the week if I have time, something like that. Because last year, doing the Final Four last year, the playoffs was humongous for this channel. We gained so much over those two streams, and it was so cool seeing hundreds of people come in and out of here. I really enjoyed doing those as well.
I mean, I'm excited for some college basketball. I spent the whole last year riding the watch train. I watched it with you. I watched these games, and it got me real fired up last year. Not gonna lie, like I hadn't had a sport get me fired up like that in a while outside of football. So,
and I haven't even said it yet, but I'm super fired up about this IU team this year. Also, Lindsay, Xavier got Rob Hennessy, so he's going to be over there playing a little bit. I'm going to be keeping my eyes on that. I'm excited about college basketball for sure.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up tonight, but we're definitely going to talk about all of our options in expanding. And so you guys will see or hear from us some kind of update in which direction we do decide to go in. Outside of this, because everything we're already doing is not going to change. We're going to keep our weekly picks, our weekly recap, and all of the games that we can, have watch parties in here for. We're going to keep going with that because I have too much fun with it, and that's what got us where we are, so we're not going to get rid of it.
No. We're just going to expand upon what we do well or what we think we do okay. How's that?
No, I'm not even talking about what we do well. It's what we love to do, and that's what we're going to keep doing. And thank you guys for hanging out with us through this whole stream. If you want to, when the stream ends, come back to the video and leave a comment below all your weekly picks, so I can come back and look at them once we once games start going on. And also, if you haven't, react to Man Fights Kangaroo. I feel like I've seen that video, but if you guys want us to do some reaction, like either football or some kind of sports, and I feel like fighting a kangaroo for an Australian is considered a sport, so that counts. We'll look into doing some reaction stuff because that just sounds fun to me anyway. A lot of the YouTube videos I watch on my own time are reaction videos, but definitely thank you for everything, and thank you for spending the whole last hour and 15 minutes with us. We're going to take everything into consideration to give you the best content we can give you. We will be back tomorrow. It will be around 4 o'clock probably, and it'll be him, so be sure to come in here and give him crap all day. And I'll do the same when I can, and I'll be back for some Sunday night football, and we get to talk crap about me and Nathan get to talk crap about the Broncos for 4 hours, and it's going to be a great time.
Heck yeah, much love, Nathan.
Much love to all of you, and without further ado, we will see you tomorrow.